Are Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma too old for the T20 format?
Now the question is, why is Rohit and Kohli's selection even a doubt in the first place? Now when you come to Rohit Sharma, in the last 2-3 years, there has been a case where he hasn't been scoring runs consistently in the T20 format, both internationally and also in the IPL. Add to that, his strike rate has also not been too impressive, which poses this question as to whether or not he gets to play the T20 World Cup automatically. Now coming to Kohli, it's a similar issue where despite him scoring heaps of runs for RCB, his strike rate and his acceleration and all of that is definitely something that has come into the public eye and something that a lot of people have been raising questions on.
Now, a lot of people think that these doubts and these questions are baseless, but their numbers give an interesting story. Before we get into numbers in specific, it is quite concerning that both Rohit and Virat haven't played a lot of T20Is in the last couple of years. When you look at Rohit Sharma in specific, his last T20 World Cup wasn't impressive at all. In 6 games, he averaged 19 with a strike rate of mere 106, and that is not only bad for a player like Rohit Sharma, that's bad for any average player as it is. And in the last 3 years, his IPL performances also haven't been very impressive. He averages 22 with a strike rate of 127. He opens the innings, and if you're opening with a strike rate of 127, that is anything but impressive. And we saw that in the last T20 World Cup as well, where KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma struggled to give India a good start. And of course, things have changed. The ODI World Cup, we saw Rohit Sharma bat very aggressively, and we see that in this IPL as well. But it's more about consistency, and we'll have to see if he is consistent throughout this IPL and if he can play this role continuously.
Now with Virat Kohli, just looking at his numbers in terms of averages is not going to be enough, because there is a lot of debate around how slow he is to get off the block and then eventually build his innings towards a certain acceleration that comes later on towards the death overs. Keeping this in mind, we've taken 2 sets of stats for Virat Kohli. One is the first 10 overs of a T20 game and the other is the last 10 overs. So you can think of it as power play plus the first set of middle overs and middle overs plus the death overs. Now looking at Kohli's international stats in T20 since 2021, he has a strike rate of 112 and an average of 38 in the first 10 overs. And in the last 10 overs, he has a strike rate of 173, which is really good, and an average of 92. Now it's fairly similar in the IPL, where at the top in the first 10 overs, he strikes at about 122 with an average of 41.6. And coming to the last 10 overs, his strike rate dips a bit compared to the international scenario. His strike rate is only about 146 with an average of 26. Now this also tells us the kind of role that Kohli has played in the T20 format, where he has been a sort of anchor for any team that he is playing for. He starts off slow, he builds the partnerships, and then once he's set, that's when he takes the attack to the opposition, and that's when he starts accelerating. And that's also where the criticism comes in, is because he takes way too much time at the start, and sometimes he gets dismissed, which means that he's not able to make up for those dot balls or runs left to score towards the end.
Before we get into Ajit Agarkar's shoes and talk about the selection and talk about if they should be in the 11 in the first place, let's talk about the differences between the IPL and the T20 World Cup that's coming up. Now, there are basic differences, and these differences are in the laws of the game. For example, there is no impact player in the T20 World Cup, and with impact player, you can attack from the start just because you have an extra batsman in your team. So that's also why there's a lot of criticism towards Virat Kohli and the way he goes about his innings, because he doesn't need to do that necessarily because of an extra batter and all of that. In T20Is, there is no impact player, there's no substitution that takes place. And the other obvious rule that affects bowlers more than anything is the second bouncer. That again is not there in the T20 World Cup or the T20Is for now.
Now coming to the final section of this video, let's look at it realistically, right? We all know that both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have to be picked, because that's just how it is going to be, and that's the fact of the matter.
Sorry for the interruption, but if you don't know, go check out our Instagram. We have this contest going on where if you guess the man of the match of each match before the first ball is bowled, you get a signed bat by Rachin Ravindra. So go check our Instagram out. It's in our description below. We also have this grand prize where you can get 15,000 rupees off at Puntu Sports, and you can buy anything that you want for 15,000 rupees for absolutely free.
Now obviously Rohit Sharma is your captain for the T20 World Cup, and if you're picking Rohit, you also pick Kohli. It's almost a no-brainer. But for India's sake, it would be ideal if both Rohit and Kohli can open the innings. That way you can have Surya Kumar Yadav coming in at 1 down, and you can have the youngsters to follow like Rinku, Shivam Dubey and also Pandya later on. That way, even if Rohit and Kohli get a poor start, which I think is really tough for neither of the batsmen to get going, so that's probably a better option. But even if that does happen, you have enough firepower in the back for India to come and catch up in the batting innings.
I don't think it'll be a problem if you don't pick both Virat or Rohit or either one of them, because if you look back at the 2007 World Cup where we sent this young side and a lot of these guys just had fun, I don't think that'll be the biggest problem in the world if you do that now again, because a lot of these youngsters in the IPL are performing. A lot of these guys can take on the international international fast bowlers, and it's in the US and the Caribbean, so conditions are not so far off for them to not understand it. It won't happen, but I'm just saying if it does happen, I don't think a lot of people should complain.
So yeah, this has been our video. Thanks for watching. Do like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share this with your friends. Let us know what you think about Rohit and Kohli, whether or not they should feature in the T20 World Cup. And yeah, thanks for watching.